Welcome to Outside Views. Today we tackle the myth of inevitability surrounding Reform UK. This party, born from the ashes of the Brexit Party, has ridden waves of discontent and claimed to be the alternative to traditional political establishments. But is Reform UK truly unstoppable, or does its veneer of momentum hide deep cracks? And to understand this, let's start with Nigel Farage. He has been the charismatic force behind the rise of Reform UK, just as he was with UKIP and the Brexit Party. Farage is often celebrated as one of the most influential politicians in modern Britain, despite never holding a seat in Parliament until recently. But while his rhetoric resonates with a significant portion of voters, his leadership has also been marked by controversy, division and missteps. And I meant the Parliament in the UK, by the way. A glaring example is the recent loss of the Brexit Party name. Farage's administrative oversight allowed Catherine Blakelock, the original founder, to reclaim it. This symbol loss speaks to larger issue within Reform, its independence on Farage's personality rather than robust structures or policies. Blakelock's actions reminds us that Farage's dominance often comes at the expense of those who help build his platforms. Her public criticisms paint a picture of a leader who prioritizes control over collaboration. And another challenge Reform faces is its internal strife. Farage's decision to reassert control during the 2024 general election alienated key figures like Ben Habib, a former deputy leader. Habib's criticism of Reform's democratization efforts as a sham underscores the tensions between Farage's centralized approach and the demands for a more member-driven party. And this tension is new. Farage's history with UKIP was similarly fraught with factionalism and infighting. Moreover, the presence of Zia Yusuf as Reform's chair has further complicated matters. Yusuf's attempt to professionalize the party, including the dismissal of longtime press officer Gain Towler, have marked dissatisfaction among the old guard. Towler, a loyal Farage ally, is just one of many sideline figures as Reform grapples with its identity. The departure of Howard Cox, the London mayoral candidate and founder of Fair Fuel UK, highlights this growing discontent. Cox's criticism of Reform's stance on controversial figures like Tommy Robinson reveals the tightrope the party walks between appealing to far-right elements and maintaining broader legitimacy. The fallout with Elon Musk further underscores Reform's challenges. Musk's public spat with Farage over Tommy Robinson exposed fractures within the party. While Farage and Richard Tice distanced themselves from Robinson, this decision alienated a faction of their base. The resignation of 12 councillors and the public criticism from figures like Cox and Habib reveal the fragility of Reform's coalition. Although the party touts an influx of new members, these departures signal deeper issues of trust and cohesion. Reform's reliance on high-profile defectors from the Conservative Party has also raised questions. Figures like Dame Andrea Jenkins and Marc Longhi bring experience, but their parachuted candidacies have caused resentment among grassroots supporters. This strategy risks alienating long-time Reform activists who feel sidelined by the influx of former Tory MPs. The criticisms from regional campaigners like Andrew Southall underscores this discontent. Another point of contention is the party's contradictory messaging. Reform has positioned itself as a champion of localism and opposition to overdevelopment. Yet the prominent roles of property developers like Nick Candy and Richard Tice create a perception of hypocrisy. This tension between rhetoric and reality provides ammunition for Reform's critics and fuels internal dissatisfaction. On the policy front, Reform's platform remains vague and reactionary. While it capitalizes on public frustration with immigration, crime, and economic stagnation, its proposed solutions lack depth. Farage's off-the-cuff remarks, such as suggesting the UK should consider repatriating Shamina Begum at Trump's behest or embracing Islam to win, highlight a lack of consistency. And these comments alienate core supporters and raise doubts about the party's strategic vision. Beyond internal issues, reform faces significant external challenges. Labour, under Keir Starmer, has regained ground, presenting itself as a credible alternative to the Conservatives. The Conservatives, under Kemi Badenoch, have also attempted to rebrand and reclaim lost voters. Reform's ability to position itself as a viable third party depends on exploiting these weaknesses, but its current trajectory suggests that this will be an uphill battle. The British political system is not kind to insurgent parties. Labour's rise in the early 20th century remains the exception rather than the rule. Reform's ambition to replace the Conservatives as the main party of the right faces structural and cultural barriers. The first-past-the-post electoral system, entrenched party loyalties, and media scrutiny all work against newcomers. And moreover, Farage's polarizing persona limits Reform's appeal. While he energizes a segment of the electorate, he also alienates many moderate voters. The controversies surrounding his leadership style, associations, and policy flip-flops reinforce the perception that Reform is a party of protest rather than governance. Farage's ability to attract attention has undoubtedly been a double-edged sword. His public feud with Elon Musk, while drawing headlines, showcased the limits of his approach. Musk's criticism of Farage over his handling of Tommy Robinson revealed a vulnerability within Reform. It highlighted the tension between the party's desire for mainstream credibility and its reliance on populist rhetoric. And this balancing act has made it difficult for Reform to carve out a clear and sustainable identity. And additionally, the economic challenges facing the UK complicate Reform's position. While the party critiques both Labour and the Conservatives for their handling of issues like inflation and public spending, its own economic proposals remain underdeveloped, to be nice. Voters seeking detailed policy solutions are left questioning whether Reform can deliver beyond slogans and sound bites. And this brings us to the broader implications of Reform's rise. Its success depends not only on internal cohesion, but also on external factors like voter fatigue with traditional parties. However, history shows that such movements often struggle to maintain momentum without a clear and consistent vision. The tensions between Reform's grassroots activists and its high-profile defectors underline this challenge. And the question remains, can Reform bridge these divides, or will it collapse under the weight of its contradictions? In conclusion, the rise of Reform UK is far from inevitable. The party's internal divisions, contradictory messaging, and over-reliance on Nigel Farage's charisma expose its vulnerabilities. While it may continue to attract attention and stir debate, its ability to fundamentally reshape British politics remains quite uncertain. And for those who view Brexit as a mistake, Reform's challenges offer a glimmer of hope that the tide of populism may yet recede. So thank you for joining me on this deep dive into Reform UK. And if you found this analysis insightful, please like the video, share it, and subscribe to Outside Views for more in-depth coverage of British politics. Let's continue the conversation as well in the comments. Do you think Reform UK can overcome its challenges, or is it destined to remain on the fringes? I look forward to your thoughts, and as always, stay informed and see you in the next video. One of those is right here in the end screen.